Hello YouTube, my name's Aaron. If you haven't already seen one of my videos, I am with Weekends with the Campers. I write a small blog on there, along with doing this video blog with you on YouTube. It's that time of year that every camper hates. Last night dropped down to just below freezing. It was one of our, if not the last night that we stayed in our camper this year. Inside got down to about 48 degrees, and that's with the little space heater running on low. I'm glad for that. But this video isn't about last night. It's about what you got to do now. Winter's coming. Every camper hates that word winter unless they're snowbirds or they live in their camper full-time and have dealt with it before. But for most of us that have a camper, we have to winterize. And winterize, most cases, will only take a couple hours. We've already started. We actually started last week on removing some of our items that we don't want left in the camper. And this weekend we're pretty much pulling the rest of all our stuff out of the camper. That includes all food, all liquids that could freeze, anything that would attract pests, mice, stuff you don't want in your camper, because once they're in there, then they wreak havoc on your camper. I've had friends that have had mice in theirs, and they ended up having almost a total loss out of it because they ate up all the wiring and burrowed through, ate up all the seat cushions. I mean, it was a mess. And we don't want that. We've never had that issue, but we go through and clean the whole thing top to bottom, sweep it several times. We get every little bit of food that would attract pests, and I mean, anything and everything. I mean, they eat styrofoam. Seriously, styrofoam. But whatever, that's their priority. So, the first off, if you're going to winterize your camper, clean the inside too. It doesn't make much sense just to do the water system. You want to be able to come back and enjoy it next year, right? I do. So we do a full inside cleanup, full outside cleanup. We pull everything out. If it's something that's going to attract mice, we get rid of it. We take it home. We put it in the garage for the winter. If it's food, we use it over the winter. You're going to have to buy new next year for a few new items next year, so you might as well use what you have available and buy new next year. There's no point in keeping, hand soap and dish soap in your garage or your freezer or in your basement, not your freezer, but your basement or for next year. Use it up. It doesn't hurt you. It's not going to cost you any more. One way or another, you're going to have to buy more. So start by cleaning out your camper. Next thing is disconnect all your water supplies. My outside one, I haven't done it yet, but I will in this video. Clean up your area. I mean, it's simple logic. You got a messy area, you're going to attract more critters. So we've been cleaning for 2 weekends. We're on our second truckload. The first truckload had a trailer along with it, a 6x12 trailer that we hauled home last weekend. And this weekend we got a pickup and a box full of stuff that we're bringing home this weekend. We might come back next weekend just to do one more check and see if we miss anything, because you always seem to do. So it doesn't hurt to check it a couple times, especially before a hard freeze. So let's get started on this. So first off, you need to get your water heater. You do not want antifreeze in your water heater. I've learned this one from experience, that water stinks coming out next year. I mean, bad. And that's just the minimum you could have. But like mine, I have this little valve way down here in the bottom underneath behind my water heater for the cold water intake. Basically all I'm going to do is shut that valve and it bypasses it and runs it up top. That's basically all I gotta do for my water heater. You know which, why do I have water down there? Oh, I got water down there somewhere. I'll find that one out later. So always bypass your water heater. Next, obviously, is we need to drain all our lines. I mean, as you can tell, my freshwater tank, I've left it open all summer long, so I should have very little water in it. I open up top valve and make sure my water heater my water's off. Now I'm getting ready to drain my water heater. So this will be the end of using anything that's in my water heater. Find the right socket, get an extension, let's get ready. This will more than likely make a mess. There's 6 gallons of water in there or something like that. Let that drain out nice and good, nice and dry. And while that's draining, I should have shut the valve before. Anyways, I'm getting wet. Yeah, I got a little wet. At least the water's warm. We used the water heater to do dishes this morning. So while that's draining, I'm grabbing my jugs of antifreeze. There's 3. I got 4 more. Oh, 3 more. Jugs here. I got the water heater draining. Got the water heater bypassed. I'm going to turn on my water pump. I know this is hard on pumps, but I want to get every bit of water out of my lines that I can. And I will do that on everything, just to make sure it's all drained. I want no water in my lines. That includes your toilet, your shower, any sinks. cold water. As you can tell, every time I shut one valve off, it goes to the next and pushes the air and stuff out of that one. You want as much air coming out as possible. Because guess what water does when it hits roughly 32 degrees? It freezes. In most cases, the newer campers, they come with PEX hosing. It's not so much the PEX that you got to worry about. It's all the fittings that are harder plastic. Those are the points that are going to have your issues. So that's in my experience anyway. And while that one's draining, we got one more on the back side which has a hose that needs to be done. Set you down for a minute. Yes, I know. Actually, I'll just have parts are like old quick connects, and they are sometimes can get a little corroded and tough to get in. You take a little screwdriver, pop the thing to move, and off we go. Just a little bit of water left in here, and then we start filling the tank with water. When I first popped this open, I actually had antifreeze coming out of this portion of the line, so we didn't use this portion this year, but there's still a diluted version in it, so I try to get as much out of it. I don't care if it's old antifreeze, water, whatever, I want it all out of the system. And yeah, there's just a little bit left coming out, so stop her there, and I don't know if you guys are hearing the wind noise, but yeah, we're maybe 40 degrees out here now, and anywhere between, well, we're in a wind advisory, so we're in anywhere between 30 and 40 mile-an-hour winds. I shut my water pump off. Now it's time to fill. I got one of these little handy dandy pumps. I think I picked this one up at just a big box store, but it's the same brand you can find on Amazon by Camco. Works excellent. Basically stick the white tube in the jug and pump. It works really good. So I will return once I get those back, because it's kind of hard to do several things with one hand being used. More than likely I'll have all 6 of those jugs in my water heater, or in my water tank, and I'll show you what I do next. So I forgot one very, very important step there. And before I even put antifreeze in it, I just realized that I didn't dump my tanks. We want to get rid of all that water and waste and everything else. We did wash dishes this morning, so we will have water in those tanks, and we need to have them out. So it's just as simple as pulling a couple valves and letting them drain for a little bit. That way, by the time I get the jugs filled up, those tanks should be almost empty. So I hope somebody doesn't catch that I almost messed up and almost had to start over for them, but I caught it before it happened. The other thing I like to do is after I get all my winterizing done, that anode, this guy here, and that hole that you see there, right there, I always put that back in. If I leave it open, it has a tendency to rust a little worse and worse every year, and it makes it a real bear cat to put it back in. Shouldn't have water in it anyway. If there is, it's not enough to do any damage that I've seen so far. And it's ready to go next year when you fill up with water. Just for into the tank. And then we turn the water pump back on. Now, water pump's back on, we turn our system, wait for it to turn pink coming out, because we want it pink. I know you're wondering what I'm going to do with that 6th one, but that'll come here up here shortly. So antifreeze through that one. And if you're wondering, before I turned the camera back on, I did shut the water tanks, or the gray and the black water tank. So, antifreeze coming on that side. See how clear it came all of a sudden? Out of there. And my hold storage for the winter. And don't forget that guy, you will want antifreeze in that. We got 3 more items to do after this one. Obviously the toilet. Yep, antifreeze coming out of that. Nice clean water coming out of it. One more. I got the outside spigot. And antifreeze coming out of this too. Put that back. So now you're wondering what I'm doing with that last gallon. Let me shut the pump off. This last gallon goes directly into the sinks. And the reason I do that last is for the traps. Get a good amount in there. Because what came out of the faucet was diluted. So I'd much rather be safe. I'm sorry. And whatever happens, it goes, may even end up in the that's what I do with 6 gallons of antifreeze for our RV, the 6th one. And the only thing left to do is clean up my mess. Put the anode back in because I don't want it to rust where I can't get it back in next season. Don't want to buy a new water heater next year. And that's your simple steps to winterize your winterize your camper for the winter. Any questions, comments, leave them. I'll answer them when I see them. And if you like my video, please like and subscribe, because I plan on to do a few more videos along this with our camper. Any ideas would be much appreciated. I didn't get to any of the videos I wanted to make this year. So any ideas or suggestions, I may take you up on those and make a video of it. Again, my name's Aaron. I'm with Weekends with the Camper, and I hope you like my video on my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, like I said earlier. Thank you. Bye.